Station sa Bagong Pilipinas.
We come together guided by ASEAN's long-standing commitment to peace and the collective positions expressed by each ASEAN member state, the immediate cessation of hostilities,
is studying the creation of a shared oil stockpile to be tapped in times of crisis.
Also tonight, a political analyst commends Philippine mediation in Cambodia-Thailand border disputes.
In news abroad, at least 3 hikers were killed during a volcanic eruption in Indonesia.
And some good news tonight. Filipina tennis ace Alex Ayala advances to the 3rd round of Italian Open after defeating her Chinese opponent. All these and more, here on 13 News. Good evening, I'm Angela C. We're bringing you the day's top stories that shape the country, straightforward, clear, and concise.
I'm Greg Gregorio, under one flag with 3 mandates to inform, explain, and empower the nation. This is 13 News. Topping our newscast tonight is President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. unveiling ASEAN's united call for peace in the Middle East, urging an immediate halt to hostilities and protection of civilians.
The president also announced ASEAN's plan to build a shared oil stockpile to cushion member nations in times of crisis. IBC News correspondent Harley Valbuena is in Cebu right now with the latest developments. Harley, what are the other developments there?
Greg, Angela, fuel and energy cooperation, along with the establishment of a rules-based maritime cooperation center, were among the key issues discussed by the Southeast Asian leaders at the 48th ASEAN Summit, as disclosed by the ASEAN chair himself, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. At a press conference with local and foreign media following the successful opening, plenary, and retreat sessions of the 48th ASEAN Summit, President Marcos Jr. announced that ASEAN is already studying the creation of an oil stockpile to be shared among ASEAN nations, especially in times of crisis. This will be through the expedited ratification of the ASEAN Framework Agreement on Petroleum Security.
not only did we talk about the supply of fuel, the sharing the supply of fuel, or having a mechanism for by which we share it. Secondly, having a reservoir that will be shared as well by ASEAN.
Also discussed was the use of a common power grid, which would allow electricity sharing among ASEAN nations. During the ASEAN Plenary Summit, President Marcos Jr. bared the joint call of ASEAN leaders on the Middle East conflict.
We come together guided by ASEAN's long-standing commitment to peace and the collective positions expressed by each ASEAN member state. The immediate cessation of hostilities, the peaceful settlement of disputes, the protection of civilians and civilian infrastructure, and the restoration of safe, unimpeded, and continuous transit passage in the Strait of Hormuz.
Meanwhile, the President also announced the adoption of the ASEAN Leaders' Declaration on Maritime Cooperation, including the proposal to open an ASEAN Maritime Center in the Philippines. However, he issued a clarification on its objective.
The ultimate reason for having this maritime center is not to confront or not to push back on any single force or any single country. What we are working for is the continued freedom of navigation and the peaceful navigation in South China Sea.
To cap today's engagements, President Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos hosted a gala dinner for the ASEAN leaders. The leaders proudly showcased their Filipiniana gowns and barong Tagalog, highlighting Filipino culture at the summit. Greg, Angela, as the summit concludes, the ASEAN state leaders will begin departing Cebu tonight and tomorrow. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you for the report, Harley Valbuena. The Philippines has gained positive results from mediating peace talks between Cambodia and Thailand, according to a political analyst. This follows a meaningful trilateral meeting among the leaders of the three nations. Professor Froilan Kalilong said the move strengthened the country's reputation as a diplomatic leader in Southeast Asia. It could also boost, he said, economic and commercial relations, particularly in attracting more investors.
I think this provided a very important constructive space, especially because we allowed ourselves to be, or the Philippines allowed itself to be a conduit, may magkaroon ng tapat at bukas na dialogo, which shows our readiness to become a mediator, and it shows our dedication to the principles of ASEAN.
The political analyst further believes the effort may serve as a reference for future peacekeeping and conflict management initiatives. It also helps maintain strong ties with other ASEAN member states.
Meron tayong tinatawag na ASEAN Way, no? Which primarily is the guiding principle for ASEAN. I think the important thing that we need to consider here is the consensus. No? Ideally, dapat lahat ng desisyon dapat napapagkasunduan, and yung use of force is something that we can never tolerate.
Here are some quick, interesting facts about the 2026 ASEAN Summit. First up, the logo. The boat in the center is called the Balangay, an ancient wooden vessel used for travel and trade in the Philippines as far back as the 10th century. Look closely and you'll spot 11 grains on the stalk, each symbolizing a member state including Timor-Leste, the newest addition to the family. ASEAN itself was founded on the 8th of August 1967 with founding members Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. After this year's hosting of the Philippines, Singapore takes the chairship in 2027. And here's a practical perk. Under the ASEAN Framework Agreement on Visa Exemption, citizens of member countries can visit each other visa-free for 14 days. From boats to borders, ASEAN 2026 blends history, unity, and convenience in one summit.
Amid the economic challenges in the country, the Department of Agriculture said an executive order from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. may be released in any day to implement a 50 pesos price cap on imported rice. Based from the agency's monitoring, imported rice currently sells at a maximum price of 57 pesos per kilo. However, some retailers were found selling rice as high as 65 pesos per kilo due to multiple layers of distribution. The DA noted that some rice brands are already available as low as 48 pesos per kilo, while the proposed price cap is expected to regulate prices, with penalties for non-compliance. Moreover, the national government is also studying the possible price caps on other commodities, including liempo, carrots, and palm oil. Meanwhile, motorists be advised as the Department of Energy announces another fuel price adjustments next week. Based from the announcement, estimates shows diesel prices may drop at 6 pesos to 8 pesos per liter, while kerosene could see a bigger reduction of up to 12 pesos per liter. On the other hand, gasoline prices are projected to increase by around 1 peso to 4 pesos per liter. Planning to save fuel in your late-night travels? Well, be prepared to travel early, as the Department of Public Works and Highways will conduct additional repair works on the EDSA Magallanes flyover southbound. The left lane will be temporarily closed while the right lane remains open, as the rehabilitation program will start tonight at 10 p.m. until tomorrow at 5 a.m. When we return, stay tuned. This is 13 News.
Kanilang ipinaglalaban ang tama. Lumilikha ng patas na batas para sa karapatan ng bawat Pilipino. Kasama si Catherine Villar, kilalanin ang mga mahahalagang tao at pangyayari sa likod ng ang Senado ng Pilipinas. Tuwing Linggo, alas 9:30 ng umaga.
Magandang araw sa inyo. Nandito tayo sa isang lugar na puno ng mga kwento ng pagbangon at pag-asa. Dito nabubuo ang mga pangarap ng mga taong mayroong kinahaharap na kapansanan, ngunit patuloy silang lumalaban at nakikipagsapalaran sa hamon ng buhay. Sa Bigay Buhay Multipurpose Cooperative, natagpuan ng marami ang daan tungo sa oportunidad at muling nagkaroon ng tiwala sa sarili. Ating kilalanin ang founder nito na si Richard Arsenio at alamin kung paano at bakit nabuo ang kooperatibang ito. Ako po si Bob Ferrer at ito ang Good Stories. Sama ka, kwento natin ito.
Mahahalagang kaganapan sa Kongreso. Issue at batas na direktang nakakaapekto sa bawat Pilipino.
Requires to show the Philippines.
On you as our young leader.
Hatid ni na Sofia Potenciano at Bien Manalo. Congress News, Lunes hanggang Huwebes, alas 6:15 ng gabi, dito sa IBC 13.
Welcome back to the program. The National Bureau of Investigation has subpoenaed Peanut Gallery Media Network or PGMN anchor CJ Thio. Thio is tagged as a person of interest in the alleged 350 million peso extortion attempt against former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Investigators say Thio appeared in a video with arrested PGMN founder Franco Mabanta, supposedly meant for blackmail. Mabanta's legal counsel denied Thio's involvement, while Mabanta himself has rejected the accusations. Mabanta and 4 associates remain in NBI jail after prosecutors received documents and evidence.
Meanwhile, former Congressman Saldico is believed to be hiding in a 10-bedroom mansion along the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla says authorities remain confident they will soon arrest Ko, who is wanted for graft and malversation over a 289.5 million peso flood control project in Oriental Mindoro. The government has requested an Interpol red notice and continues coordination with international police. Remulla stressed Ko's asylum bid won't stop efforts to bring him back, noting his world is getting smaller.
As the Balikatan Exercise 2026 officially ended, the Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. rebukes China's criticism of missile use during the joint military exercise. Earlier, China criticized the drills for firing the U.S. Tomahawk missile from Tacloban to Nueva Ecija and a Japanese Type 88 missile, saying it's raising historical issues from World War II and beyond its self-defense policy. Teodoro said China should focus on its own issues, arguing that its actions in the West Philippine Sea are what truly threaten regional peace, not the Balikatan exercise conducted by the Philippines and its partners. Meanwhile, China continues its tensions in the West Philippine Sea as the Philippine Coast Guard deployed aircraft to issue radio warnings to a Chinese research vessel operating near Iroquois Reef. The PCG also detected at least 41 Chinese maritime militia vessels swarming near the reef and Thio Island. China maintained its claim, asserting historic rights despite a previous international ruling invalidating such claims.
Ahead of the upcoming House plenary vote on the impeachment case of Vice President Sara Duterte, lawmakers say she will face possibly a historic impeachment as more support comes. Amid this, analysts and legal experts are highlighting the growing role of public opinion and evidence in shaping the outcome. IBC News correspondent Earl Tobias has the report.
Public Accounts Committee Chairperson Terry Ridon says the only question left on Monday is how many more lawmakers will join the 215 already committed to support the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Ridon noted that if the process moves forward, it would mark the first time a vice president is impeached twice by 2 different Congresses in consecutive years.
Siya po yung nag-iisa, bukod tangi na impeachable official na may impeach po ng Kongreso ng 2 beses. She was impeached by the 19th Congress and she will be impeached by the 20th Congress on Monday.
Meanwhile, University of the Philippines professor and Octa research analyst Guido David believes the Vice President's early 2028 presidential bid announcement may be her last defense against impeachment.
I think it's already affecting the opinion of the legislators and the impeachment. And we can also see that in the Senate. I wouldn't say pressuring, but influencing the decision of the senators and maybe even some congressmen.
But former FEU Law Dean Attorney Mel Santamaria stressed that public opinion will outweigh political influence once evidence is fully exposed.
Na 2 korte dito. Isang Senate Political Court at ang isang Court of Public Opinion. Basta hindi ka bumoto ayon sa ebidensya, talagang nagbubulag-bulagan ka na.
Some lawmakers continue to oppose the impeachment complaint even though VP Duterte's camp has yet to present any substantial evidence in its defense.
Third, no? Pero ngayon hindi na nila pwedeng masabi kasing conscience vote.
Kailangan problema dito, 100% prosecution evidence and 0% defense evidence. So to say that conscience bond, saan ang gagaling yung base ng conscience?
Dr. Guido David meanwhile said Bifi Duterte has lost significant political capital, citing Octa research surveys following alleged discrepancies between her declared wealth and reported bank transactions.
Mo pa lang, nakakayanig na. And kaya kailangan makita ng tao yan. And besides, nakalagay sa ating constitution, there should be a hearing except yung 1/3 direct vote to the Senate. But, of course, we have that decision in July 2025 and January 2026 na nagkaroon pa ng a little bit detailed process sa ating impeachment ngayon na nasunod naman sa Pilipinas.
Given that medyo nagkaroon ng special considerations that
Vice President Duterte continues to claim lawmakers were allegedly offered money to support impeachment, which has been denied by those who voted for probable cause.
We will open the bank accounts. We will unseal the BIR documents. So, kami po, we will go into trial confident that we will be able to present evidence to the senators for them to convict the Vice President.
Earl Tobias, IBC News.
And here's our weather update. Tropical storm Hagupit, still outside the Philippine area of responsibility, is packing winds of 85 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 105, moving westward at 20 kilometers per hour. It may enter Philippine area of responsibility tomorrow evening. But for now, easterlies are the bigger story, bringing scattered rains and thunderstorms over Zamboanga Peninsula, Barm, Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, and Palawan. Metro Manila and most of the country can expect partly cloudy skies with isolated showers. Heavy rains could trigger lahar flows from Mayon volcanic debris in Albay. Camera footage today showed a pyroclastic density current flowing down the southeastern slopes, reaching 3 kilometers from the summit earlier. Meanwhile, the heat is on. Lawag, Dagupan, Batak, Etchage, Isabela, and several other cities recorded a scorching heat index of 44 degrees Celsius. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stay safe as we head into the weekend. When we come back, one of the most active volcanoes in Indonesia erupts. Don't go away. This is 13 News.
Balitang nakala.
Mamulat ng kanyang mga si Presidente at si
Binantayan. Sinuri. Nilatag at inihayag. 13 sa tanghali. Kasama sina Greg Gregorio, Naj Miravalles at Zai Chua. 13 sa tanghali sa ganap na alauna dito sa IBC 13.
Welcome back to the program. Eruption of Indonesia's Mount Dukono turned deadly, with hikers caught in the chaos. This and other global updates in this report.
Mount Dukono in Indonesia has erupted, sending ash clouds soaring 10 kilometers above the summit. 20 hikers, Singaporeans and Indonesians were on the mountain despite restrictions. Rescuers confirmed 3 fatalities. Some were safely evacuated, but at least 3 hikers are still missing. A powerful tornado ripped through Mississippi, United States, trapping residents and damaging around 400 homes. Authorities reported at least 17 injuries, though no deaths. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization clarified that the hantavirus outbreak aboard the MV Hondias in the Atlantic is not like COVID. WHO stressed the risk to the public remains low as transmission occurs only through extreme close contact. So far, 5 of 8 suspected cases have been confirmed, and passengers were advised to monitor their health for 6 weeks.
Our priorities are to ensure the affected patients receive care, that the remaining passengers on the ship are kept safe and treated with dignity.
Flower fever hits Dangwa as Mother's Day nears. Prices climb fast, but shoppers keep coming. Cristal Ramazares reports.
Days before Mother's Day, shoppers are already flocking to Dangwa to buy flowers. A group of med students bought bouquets for classmates first and plan to return tomorrow for their moms.
Yes, of course.
Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, not on the day kasi grabe yung prices.
With demand rising, flower prices in Dangwa have climbed by nearly half. To help budget-conscious buyers, Ray's shop offers assorted bouquets of carnations and Malaysian mums for just 150 to 200 pesos. Carnations symbolizing maternal love are the best seller. There are also budget-friendly promos for roses, tulips, and sunflowers. Adding variety, handmade crochet and dried flowers are also trending. With all these choices, one message rings clear. To all mothers out there, Happy Mother's Day. Cristal Ramizares, IBC News.
Filipino tennis sensation Alex Ayala shines once again, this time defeating Chinese rising star Wang Xinyu in the round of 64 of the Italian Open. Ayala had a slow start against Wang, but managed to recover, claiming a victory with a score of 6-4, 6-3. The Filipino player advances to the round of 32, where she will either face Greece's Maria Sakkari or world number 2 player Elena Rybinka. Here are the results of the 9 p.m. draw from the PCSO. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 4, 32, 23, 12, 22, and 9, with a jackpot prize of 15 million pesos. For the Ultra Lotto 658, the winning combination is 35, 20, 54, 51, 8, and 2, with a jackpot prize of 75 million pesos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 6, 3, 8, and 9. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 2, 1, and 5. And for the 2D draw, the winning numbers are 29 and 27. There is no winner for the Mega Lotto 645 and Ultra Lotto 658.
This weekend, let us all give love and honor to our Ilaw ng Tahanan as we celebrate Mother's Day to all mothers in the world. Here in 13 News and IBC, these pictures showcase the unconditional memories we have to our respected mothers. Greg, Mother's Day is coming up. Do you have any plans?
Well, I might take out my mom to some lunch with my father and of course my brother. How about you?
It's a family date. Hopefully we will do the same.
I hope she's not listening or watching because I plan to buy some flowers tomorrow. So, ayan. I hope I won't spoil the fun.
I don't think you will. And those were the latest from the IBC newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and bring you updates as they develop. I'm Greg Gregorio.
And I'm Angela C. This is 13 News. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.